Time management can be simple if we just know what our goal is. A lot of the time we're floundering. We have this thing we know we need to get done, and it's going to require some time and a lot of effort, a lot of conscious energy. We know that if we tried harder and got our habits together, we'd be like the great people we know. About 6 months ago, I started talking with a creative friend of mine who is also a computer scientist, and I decided that I wanted to invest some time into making his life better and using that experience to also improve my life, to have someone to hold me accountable for the things that I say, the things that I want to do. And around the same time, there was a book club that I started up because I was thinking that my friends in general need to talk about more interesting things, and maybe we'll benefit from some new ideas coming in from some smarter people. Both those things together had led me to believe that I needed to be the person around that had their shit together, their habits together, their goals together. And it was about the right time in my life that I needed to do these things in order to reach the levels that I want to, in order to affect the people that I want to. And so one of the major things that I read in Atomic Habits was that you need to have a big goal. You need to have a goal, well, maybe not big, but you need to have a goal that aligns with your identity, right? So what is identity? Identity comes down to the things that you believe deeply about yourself. If you're a philosopher, if you consistently go out of your way to read books, you're a reader. If you are someone that likes to work out a lot, you are someone that is active. If you are an artist, if you create things, you're creative. These core identifying factors should influence almost every single thing that you do in a given day. That is at least what James Clear has to say in his book. And I agree with him. To achieve big things, to achieve our goals, we need to know who we are, first and foremost. If we don't know that, we're gonna have a hard time contextualizing and also really mustering up the courage and the motivation to get those things done, to move forward in our life. Another piece of neuroscience that I picked up from Andrew Huberman is that there are certain times of the day that we are more efficient at doing certain things. And what he says is that in the morning we want to do rote things we know, things that we understand, things that we don't have to think about too much. So that includes maybe working out, maybe you make your bed, you don't have to think too much about that. Maybe sending an email or two, you don't have to think too much about that. Just as a ping pong back and forth. And then the later part of your day, around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, maybe painting or creating music or putting up a flyer or thinking about an initiative that you're working on. These things require thought and foresight, and so your brain is kind of got its shit together in the morning, and now it's used to being used during the day, and so it is more capable of doing the larger picture types of things. Time management in general comes down to knowing exactly what you want to do and having a strategy for executing that thing. And one of the main things that I always tell people, because I'm a musician, I'm a drummer, I'm a producer, and it requires a lot of practice to get better at your craft. And if you don't have a certain amount of consistency, then you're not really going to get too far in what you're trying to do. And that's addressed in Atomic Habits. And he says that even if you do something a little bit, just a little bit, every day is better than taking breaks. Or at least there should be some level of consistency once a week. And it shouldn't matter too much how much you're doing it. Really, you're just hacking yourself. You're making your brain believe that you have to be doing these things. It's a lot like being addicted to something, right? You almost without intention, you know that you should be getting up and doing that thing. So a big part of time management, especially if you're building on a long term, is going to come down to knowing that you need to do things every day in order for them to solidify in your head and to hack your system. So you get to the point where you're doing things every day, and you'll probably come across a roadblock. The roadblock being my goodness, I'm a bit burnt out, or am I really making any progress, or I have these other things that I also want to do. I don't know if, should I be doing those things as well? What if I've committed too strongly to something that's not even in my identity? Fair points. But I encourage you to go out of your way to break through those barriers and say to yourself, no, I'm gonna keep going, because the decision that I made earlier on is probably the right one for me. You know in life when you're doing something strange or incorrect. You can feel it in your soul. You can feel it in the way that you go to bed. You can feel it in the way that you're interacting with people, your general mood. You know that when you're doing something good for you, you're going to feel good innately. When you're doing something that's not so good for you, you're shit out of luck. You can't blame anyone else besides yourself. Hard to love yourself, I know. I was speaking to my mom about time management in general, and she's, a busy business lady. And she said to me that a big thing that she does is make a list of things that she wants to do the night before, so that the day following, she already has inspiration. She already has something that kind of a track that she wants to go down. And I've noticed that if you do this about twice a day, right before bed and right in the morning, if you have a little routine where you're not going on your phone and you're maybe doing some light exercise, or you go and you do your normal routine and take a shower or something, and you think about the things that you want to do, a lot of the times, a lot of those things, a lot of the little hiccups that you're going to face are going to be smoothed out. Another thing that's super useful is having people that hold you accountable. So if you have a significant other, if you have a close friend, if you can talk to someone at least once or twice a week about the things that you want to do, and they are someone that will hold you accountable and ask you questions about where you're headed with something, or whether or not you feel like you're doing it to the degree that you should be doing it, that's huge. And this is where friends come in. This is where your parents come in. This is where even your mentors, your strangers that you meet on the street that you want to talk to about some ideas that you have. Accountability is a phenomenal way to keep you going, especially when you're kind of burnt out and wondering whether or not you've done all the things that you should be doing. So I make these videos every day. My goal is to give humanity some things to think about when it comes to their emotional intelligence, and hopefully to form communities and to deepen their compassion. The first step, however, is taking care of yourself. So if you like stuff like this, I have a couple of links in the description below for my other social medias, and once a week, once a month. I'm thinking about starting up some mentoring calls once a month. And I'd like to interact with you guys. I want to see what is it that you're kind of coming across that maybe I have some opinions on that might be useful to you. Like, subscribe, and share this to other people. See if we can get a little community going here. Hopefully it'll be an interesting one, a compassionate one. That is my goal. So take it easy. Be good to the people around you. And really dig deep and try to find that identity. It'll help you set your goals. What can time management give you? Time management can give you so much confidence. It can give you the life that you want to live. It can give you new people to be around. Time management can give you everything.